Alright, so this is my setup in the lathe here. Absolutely maxing out the length of the lathe. This pin's 36 inches long and I'm turning it between centers here. Just trying to take real light cuts to clean this stuff up because it's an interrupted cut and with the wear. So I don't want to hammer things too bad when I'm just hanging on the centers. This is my first time turning between centers. Never done this before, so I'm not exactly sure how far I can push things with it. So like right now I'm just taking a 10 thou cut until things clean up a little bit better. So this end is the end where I'm doing the bushings. So I will just turn this to wherever it cleans up and I'll make my bushings match. And then at this end, I'll go through here and just do a quick light cleanup and prep it for welding. And I'll build that end up and make it a little fatter so that I'll have kind of a different diameter here, larger diameter than down here. So that's my plan. We'll keep working away. Okay, I think I'm finally done here. Mostly done, almost done. So anyway, at least this thing is cutting nicely now. So anyway, some problems that I had. This cutter being cantilevered out past the end of the support bearing here was whipping around, chattering like crazy. I was getting just a terrible surface finish. I couldn't feed it at all. The thing was hammering itself apart, not working good. So I said, screw it, about over a week ago, ordered another bearing. That was a gong show in itself, but that's another story. But anyway, got that here today, got her attached here, and that improved things a lot. However, I noticed I was still getting a worse surface finish at this end than I was at this end of the bore, and did some more checking around, found I had a broken weld down there, and this thing was still, this bearing was bouncing around all over the place. So I added in a little extra rebar here to triangulate things and stiffened it up. And that, between the extra bracing and this bearing, seems to have done the trick. I got a real nice surface finish in there now, and I've got her all punched out and cleaned up to size. So it's still kind of warm, so I'm gonna hold off here and do one more pass probably tomorrow night. And I'll do that without adjusting the tool bit there, and that'll just be like a quick cleanup pass, just to even things out in case there's some movement with the metal cooling there. So that's that part. I don't really care what the diameter ends up being because I have the bushings here. So these are roughed out for now, and I will finish them to diameter once I know what that is. And then these will be press fit into their interference fit. And I got to finish out the size for those. And that I will finish out to match up with this. So this is the pin, obviously, and I have turned this end down a little bit here. This is induction hardened. It was a bugger. Either the induction hardening, the hardness varied across the length here, or maybe the depth or something, but it did not cut nicely at all. I mean, I could cut it, but it was ended up being really wavy because it would just push the tool out and let it come back in as it was going along here. So wavy surface, I ended up finishing it out to diameter an inch at a time by hand, actually with a grinder and a buffer there, and that ended up working really well. So I will make my bushings right there match this diameter. This end I just ground up just to clean it up. There's lots of pitting and rust, of course. This end is going to get welded up, so that I'm holding off on doing because I'm making myself a welding positioner out of my rotary table. So I thought I was going to have that done last night, but trying to do a little speed control for this thing here, and it turns out a 10K audio taper pot will not handle 10 amps. Who knew? So anyway, I had to figure that out by hooking it up and lighting this thing up like a light bulb. So otherwise, this thing works great. I just have no speed control and it's too fast. So I've got a little pulse width modulated motor controller coming. It'll be here in a couple of days, and then I'll rig up something to turn that pin so that I can weld up the diameter on the fat end of that thing. So I'll weld this up with some 7018, and then I will turn that down to match this diameter right here. So that'll be that part. And then the question will be, do I punch out this side before I do the welding and the bushings? And I think the answer is yes. So tomorrow, I guess, I'll take that apart, get that other half set up on the sawhorses there, and set up the line boring machine to hit that thing. So lots of work still to do, and yeah, running out of time here for tonight. Nice that the days are starting to get a little longer. I'll be happy to see the end of the snow. So come on, springtime. Okay, that's it for tonight. I will check in with you later when I got a little more done. All right, continue working on here. I decided to, before I get rid of this half of the twist wrist, I figured I'd weld up this bore and get that thing all finished up. Then this side is completely done. So welding up this inside bore, it was worn out badly. That's the yoke that holds the rod end of the piston there with the spherical bearing inside. So I decided, like the way they had this set up before, it was just bearing on that inner half there. You can see that step in there. I decided I'm going to fill in the whole thing there and make the pin bear on the entire surface, seeing as this takes a beating, real beating with that thing there. These faces inside here are worn pretty bad, but I don't think I'm going to bother with them. There's a fair bit of slop in there, and I think that's intentional play built into the system. So that's fine. And then for boring these, it's a 2-inch bore, and I'm filling it in, and I've got an 1 3/4 boring bar, so I don't think that's going to work. I think earlier I'd been thinking it might, but I think the plan is to try and set this up in the milling machine and bore that out. We'll see how that goes. Not sure. Anyway, these bores down here, cleaned up here now. You can see those turned out fairly nice. I'm relatively happy with that surface finish. It's definitely not perfect, but it'll work for this. This end, which is this is the bushing end. This is the end that gets the bushing pressed into there. That end is finished, and we'll get the pin down there. I'll build up that end of the pin and turn it down to size to fit this. So using the Hobart Handler 175, I've had this thing for like, I don't know, close to 20 years now. Thing is still kicking, can't believe it. Anyway, let's get back to work, enough chit chat. All right, got her all welded up. So that was a challenge getting in there, especially to the back of this one here, because you can't really get in from this side to get the, from this angle, the upper left quadrant there is almost impossible to get to with the MIG welder. But anyway, I got her done. So yeah, it's very toasty still. So that, I'll let that sit a bit and let it cool before I get that set up in the milling machine. Oh yeah, and I got to make myself some sort of a boring bar for the milling machine to hog that out. So that will be the next job. Let's get to it. All right, got her done. There's my little cutting tool in the boring bar. So that'll go in the collet holder in the mill here. And now I got to figure out how to hang that big thing nice and vertically here. I think I'm going to hang it off the edge, kind of like right there. Maybe I'll take that handle off so I don't accidentally smack it. And then I'll swing the head on over and see if that works. Why not? Let's give her a try. All right, here's my crazy setup. Got the head swung way over to the side here, and got this mounted to the table. I got a jack under there for a little bit extra support. Got my boring bar set up, and I did just take a little swipe at it here. Seems to be working great, so I'm going to keep right on going. So, yeah, we'll just take a real slow cut here. Catching a couple high spots in there. But it looks like it's cutting real nice. I think that's going to work. Every now and again it catches a little bit of spatter inside there. Oh, like there. Kicks it out of the way. Oh yeah, there's a little high ridge in there. Alright, let's keep her going. This is boring. Alright, continuing on with the line boring. I had to slow this thing way down. I was getting some wicked chatter because obviously it's just a 1-inch bar for boring barn. It's like what, nine inches long or something like that to reach all the way down there, so it was chattering like crazy. I burned out one high-speed steel bit too, trying to cut it, so had to make another one. Tried going with the carbide, but I needed something different. I needed something shorter, so I made another high-speed steel one, and it seems to be working fine now and not burning up now that I got this slowed right down. There she goes. Kill that. Okay, time to make another adjustment. I've been through this once already, found all my holes and then welded them back up again. So yeah, you can kind of see in there, there's the weld I'm taking off to bring her down to size. So yeah, I'm just about done on this one, and I still got to plow through this one again to clean her up. So let's keep working at it. All right, just about done. I got about 35 thou left, so 1 or 2 more passes and that'll be completely finished. Bottom one's done already. I got about 5 thou clearance from what I'm going to make the pin, so I just got to make the top one match that. Turning out not too bad. I got a tiny bit of chatter, but that's, I guess, to be expected with that huge, long, silly bar. So I'll get that finished off, and then that is this half of the twister is completely done. I can move on to the, what would it be, the upper half, which is still sitting on the floor in the other part of the shop there, and start line boring that out for the pin. So let's get back to work. All right, so I'm starting to turn the pin here. Just, I've got a piece of 4140 with a keyway in it, but what's left of the meat in there is bigger than what I need. So I'm turning this kind of offset right now to compensate for that. I'll turn it down. Meanwhile, I got this thing grinding away. I'm trying to turn it really slow to minimize my chatter here. I got another 1.25 inches to go. So everything's going slow right now. So may as well tag team stuff here. Nice to see the shop productive. I got her. Got the yoke all bored out to size. My pin is a nice fit there. I just got to do a little bit of a polish on it. Clean up that surface finish. I tried her in the piston end, and it fits about the same here too. So a little bit of a polish in this area, and it is all good to go. So I got to chop the XX stock off of that, drill a hole, cross hole for that. Oh, I got to clean these out too because I half welded over those. So yeah, really happy with how that turned out. All right, on to the next bit. I guess once I got that done, I'll work on the bottom half of the twist wrist. Let's get this thing out of here now.